Thank you, Faye, and a very good afternoon to you wherever and however you're listening to TalkSport 2. Clocks go back tonight, don't they? We all love that. No one wants to go back to the Championship once you've got into the land of milk and honey that is the Premier League. But both these two sides, Bournemouth and Burnley, find themselves in the top flight's bottom three. But the prize for a winner today is to go above Luton Town into 17th place ahead of tomorrow's hectic Premier League fixture programme. So what are the chances of Bournemouth to get their first win of the season? Well, it's decent against Burnley, who themselves have only won once this campaign. They've led in 4 Premier League games, Bournemouth, but have dropped 11 points. That's been their problem. Now, we'll pause for a moment because the referee's got both sets of players around the centre circle. We are about to have a minute of appreciation for the late, great Sir Bobby Charlton, who passed away last weekend.
A 1966 World Cup winner and one of the game's greatest ever players. And Bill, Everton's longest-serving chairman in over a century and a much-beloved figure within football and beyond. Our thoughts and condolences with the family and friends of both men. And I invite you to join us in a moment's applause to mark their incredible contribution to the game, which will start and end on the referee's whistle.
And not only was Sir Bobby Charlton remembered then, but that also mention was made and images were shown of the late great Bill Kenwright, the Everton owner, former theatre impresario, who so sadly passed away during the course of this week. And I remember he made one of the best speeches I've ever seen 10 years ago at the Hillsborough Memorial Service at Anfield, when he came across from the other side of Stanley Park and gave a really rousing speech that almost brought me to tears. It was that good. Rest in peace, Bill Kenwright, and of course Sir Bobby Charlton, who passed away last Saturday. Underway at the Vitality Stadium between 19th place Bournemouth and 18th place Burnley. I'll run you through the lineups. Bournemouth in their red and black striped shirts, with the black shorts and black socks, kicking towards the Ted McDougall stand to our right in this first half, as Alvin and myself sit in the main stand here at the Vitality. Andre Radu making his Premier League debut in the Bournemouth goal. Max Aarons, Ilya Zabani, Chris Mepperman, Lloyd Kelly in the back four. Alex Scott and Ryan Christie in central midfield. Antoine Semenyo, Philip Billing and Marcus Tavernier supporting Dominic Solanke up top. The Burnley lineup, they're wearing their change strip of yellow shirts and socks with black shorts, a little black stripe vertically from the left shoulder down those yellow shirts as well. James Trafford is the goalkeeper. Coutinho, Amin Al-Dakil, Dara O'Shea and Charlie Taylor in their back four. Josh Brownhill, Josh Cullen, Luca Koleosho, Johan Berg Goodmanson, Anas Zaroury and Zeki Amdouni in their front line. No Lyle Foster today for Burnley. Their top scorer is absent with an unspecified illness. And Bournemouth are in possession just outside their own penalty area, but a poor pass from Mepham. In fact, it was Sabani with a poor pass intended for Kelly. So Burnley have a throw, but Billing has won the ball back and launches Bournemouth forward over the halfway line. Semenyo to his right, going through the middle now. Solanke picks it up inside the box, but there's a good challenge in the end from Dara O'Shea, and it deflects back off Solanke and goes out of play for a Burnley goal kick away to our right hand side. Minute gone, 0-0.
Well, that was a very good opening for Bournemouth, that dance. You know, Billing, who I've got a lot of respect for, he's a player that I think is still playing with a lot of confidence, but just didn't get that right to his left. You know, he needs to thread that ball through, to the path of Solanke, and he just overhits it and gives him too much to do.
That's Alvin Martin alongside me this afternoon, former West Ham and England defender, on TalkSport 2. I'll keep you in touch with scorelines from elsewhere. Only one of the 3 o'clock game in the Premier League, that's at the Emirates, Arsenal Sheffield United. So all the bottom 3 in action this afternoon in the Premier League in the 3 o'clock games. And earlier today, Brentford won the West London derby by 2-0 live on TalkSport against Chelsea. Leeds thrashed Huddersfield 4-1. You heard that here on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. And Southampton beat Birmingham by 3-1 in the other lunchtime kickoff in the Championship, compounding Wayne Rooney's poor start. Free kick to Burnley, midway point of their own half. That one when they got at Luton, with Jakob Brun Larsen's superbly struck winner. But they've won 6 of the last 8 Premier League matches against Bournemouth, including their last 3 trips here to Boscombe. And they're in possession with Amin Al-Dakhil, who plays the ball into the left-hand side. Zaroury hugging this near left-hand touchline. It's worked back to the goalkeeper James Trafford, all in pink this afternoon. And his long ball downfield is tidied up at the back by Zabarnyi. And Radu, playing because of the ankle injury sustained by number 1 keeper Neto for Bournemouth, gets the ball downfield. Good flick on from Billing, and a lovely turn from Semenyo, turning Al-Dakhil and moving at pace towards the Burnley area. Semenyo still with it, plays it across to Tavernier, tried to tee up Christie rather than go for goal, and he got the pass all wrong, and Burnley snatched possession back, 0-0.
Great play with Semenyo on this halfway line nearly. He turns and he should never be allowed to do that, but once he motors the 3 versus 3, plays a really good ball to his left. What he's doing, not shooting there, Christie, I do not know. He tried to, I think he passed the responsibility of the ball more than anything there, and it's 2 good openings for Bournemouth that they haven't made the most of.
So it's 0-0, 4 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. Ball given away by Alex Scott, and it's picked up on the left-hand side by Josh Brownhill. Brownhill down the left-hand side of the box, chance for a cross will be played into the box by Zaroury. Jockeying for the ball with Nepham, good ball into the near post and headed behind by Sabani for the first corner of the game, and that corner has gone to Burnley at the Steve Fletcher end to our left, 0-0.
Well, it's certainly a high tempo to the game, isn't it? Which you would have expected, the stakes being so high in this game. But you know, both sides do look open, Dan. You know, they've conceded a lot of goals. Confidence has been hit, certainly defensively, and it wouldn't surprise me to see some goals today.
Brownhill with the corner. Goodmanson's there for a short corner on that left-hand side. He now rolls it back to the edge of the area. It's given back to him. Goodmanson making tracks to the byline, floats the ball to the far post. Heads go up and it's put over the bar. I think at the far post it may well have been Al-Dakhil with the final. No, it was Amdouni with the final effort that skimmed off the top of his head and went behind for a Bournemouth goal kick. 0-0 the score on TalkSport 2.
That's a good ball from De Johnson, it really is. And yeah, I don't know why more players don't do that. You know, I was saying when we were watching the Chelsea game early on in the press lounge here, you know, so many people get into good crossing positions and hit the first man. All you need to do is just think it up like De Johnson did there to the far post and let people come onto it and head it. And there were 2 Burnley players actually fighting to get onto that.
I wasn't watching the Chelsea game. Bournemouth 0, Burnley 0. 5 minutes gone. I had other things on my mind. Fleetwood had taken the lead at Barnsley. Junior Coutinho with the early goal at Oakwell. That's a decent start for Fleetwood. They got the first win in 4 last time out at Reading for Lee Johnson. Title 4 unbeaten. Ball's back with Andre Radu making his Premier League debut, the Romanian, in the Bournemouth goal. This clearance is won on halfway by a half volley from Charlie Taylor, but Semenyo, very lively in these early stages for Bournemouth, hooks the ball infield. Alex Scott is out-muscled by a couple of Burnley players around him, and eventually it drops out of play for a throw-in down the left-hand side. Shea Dunkley's been sent off for Shrewsbury. Straight red card for violent conduct. Shrewsbury are away at Wigan today in Sky Bet League 1. Charlie Taylor with a throw for Burnley. It's 0-0 in this battle of 2 of the bottom 3 in the Premier League. And they've made a bit of progress with that throw, Burnley. They got to about 20 yards inside the Bournemouth half of the field. Down this near side, the left, in front of the 2 dugouts, Messrs Iraola and company are there, keeping watch at the edge of those dotted lines. Out to the right-hand side of Luca Coglioscio for Burnley. Up against Kelly. Tries to step inside into the right-hand corner of the box. Was dispossessed, and Marcus Tavernier breaks away for the Cherries down the left-hand side. But back came a strong challenge from Vitinho. Wasn't going to let Tavernier get away from him, and Burnley have it back, 0-0.
It certainly looks like he's got a yard of pace available to him, Vitinho. He looked like he was 2 yards behind and made it up over 10 yards. Real good pace.
He's in for the suspended Connor Roberts today, is Vitinho. Now here's Ryan Christie for Bournemouth, up to the edge of the area. Goes down under pressure from Zarori. Free kick, says our referee today, Sam Barrett, who's only 30 years of age. A 30-year-old referee, Alvin. You can tell he's been fast-tracked through the system. I think this is only his third Premier League game. He did 6 championship games, and I think this is a deliberate move from the PGM to give somebody they see as having huge potential as a referee.
Is it just me, or policemen and referees getting younger?
Owners are getting younger. It's not just the players, the managers. Owners are getting younger. I'm right with you, Alvin. Anyway, it's a free kick to Bournemouth, and Marcus Tavernier is very carefully pacing back from the ball. It's to the right of centre, about 25 yards out. Certainly favours a left-footed strike. Tavernier ready to hit that. Philip Billing is also lurking. Maybe Alex Scott too. Referee blows his whistle, and it is going to be Marcus Tavernier, left-footed, great whip, and punched behind for a corner kick to Bournemouth. And James Trafford decided he wasn't going to try and hold that. He just punched it behind. Bournemouth corner, 0-0.
Yeah, good effort. Yeah, good effort there. He watched it all the way, as you said. Wasn't going to take any chances.
So Alex Scott will have the corner just down to our right-hand side where the main stand meets the Ted McDougall. Rolls it along the dead ball line short to Christie. Gives it back to Scott. Scott tries to clip it into the near post. Headed up in the air. There's a real mess on 6 yards, and then a half-attempted overhead kick from, I think, Lloyd Kelly. That was actually quite comfortable in the end for James Trafford to claim one-handed just to the right of his goal. Ipswich 0, Plymouth 1 in the Championship. Plymouth lead through Morgan Whittaker at Portman Road. Remember, Ipswich starting the day second to the promoted sides meeting there. Sutton lead Bradford by 1-0. Josh Coley and Isaac Olafe at it again for Stockport, having a great season in front of goal. That's now 11 for the season for him as they lead Tranmere by 1-0. And Forest Green also in League 2 trail at home to Crawley Town. Ronan Darcy for Crawley. Back here at the Vitality Stadium, Ian Dancer and Alvin Martin with you on TalkSport 2. Bournemouth 0, Burnley 0, and we played 9.5 minutes, Alvin.
Yeah, both teams are trying to press. I mean, we mentioned this before the game, especially Bournemouth. They want to play a high pressing game, but you know what? They're not great at doing it.
Here's Charlie Taylor getting forward for Burnley. Pulls the ball across the face of goal. Zabani just puts it behind. Has that gone behind for a corner? It has indeed. It got caught on the breeze. It is a little bit breezy down here on the south coast today. I think Zabani wanted to put it out for a throw, but it swirled behind instead for a corner to the Clarets. 0-0.
Certainly one ball got them in there, didn't it? It caused the problem. But like that pressing game is, it's all about the first man getting it right, and you can see that neither team have a player that's going to instigate the press in the right way.
So a corner for Burnley. It's whipped back to the edge of the area, and Vitinho rolls it along the 18-yard line. Charlie Taylor goes for goal and takes a deflection. It's going to be another corner to Burnley away to our left. Stoke lead at Middlesbrough. Michael Rose, former Coventry player, puts Stoke ahead at the Riverside. Watford lead Millwall. Yasser Asprilla for the Hornets, and Barnes to equalise at home to Fleetwood. Devante Cole getting his 11th of the season to equalise at Oakwell 1-1. Goodmanson with another corner for Burnley, a left-footed outswinger at the Steve Fletcher stand end, away to our left. It's floated to the far post, headed out by Zabani, only to the edge of the area. Taylor's there again! Oh, what a goal! Charlie Taylor smacks it home! What a great finish from the edge of the area. Came out to him after Bournemouth tried to clear their lines. He just put his left foot through it, and Radu stood on his goal line, just watched as the ball ripped past him into the net. It is Bournemouth 0, Burnley 1. Charlie Taylor with a thumping effort.
Well, a lovely volley by Taylor, but what a lovely little cushioned header as well. I think it was O'Shea just laid it back to him and said, go on, stick your left foot through that. And that's exactly what he did. It might have took a little bit of a deflection, I don't know, because he didn't move, did he? Radu, the keeper. It certainly is, it's a wonderful strike. Looking at it behind there was a lot of movement on it. You don't hit many better than that. He kept it down, which was so important.
That's his first goal for Burnley. What a one to get off the mark with. Charlie Taylor thumping it home from the edge of the area, and we have an early goal in this huge match at the bottom, and they're just having a VAR check, I think. I'm not sure what for. Charlie Taylor saying possible handball check. Was there a handball of a Burnley player on the way through? No, they've decided check over and we will kick off. There was a Burnley player in line and they were just checking to see whether it grazed the forearm of Zeki Amdouni, but wasn't to be. The goal stands. It's Bournemouth 0, Burnley 1 on TalkSport 2.
Well, the goal is a big goal in a game of this significance, where both of them are in the bottom of the Premier League. You know, what is that going to do now to Bournemouth? And the crowd have been pretty upbeat, but now this is going to be a very, very tricky time for Bournemouth, because they've got to try and get back in the game, keep the crowd on side without conceding a second.
Alex Scott gives the ball back to Chris Mepham. Now on the right-hand side, Max Aarons will just lay it back to Mepham. Zabani to his left. They're just ahead of their own 18-yard line, the Bournemouth centre-half pairing, as they exchange passes. Mepham gets his head up, floats the ball down the inside right channel, asking Solanke to give chase. He'll get there, just inside the area, but Dara O'Shea did enough to get the ball half clear, and then Taylor, the goal scorer, plays a calm 1-2 with Brownhill, moves in, looks to where his goalkeeper is, and then pirouettes and turns and clears, but only onto the chest of Mepham. But his chest control allowed Josh Brownhill to get a touch, and it's cleared away. Bristol Rovers, without a manager since Joey Barton was dismissed in the week, have taken the lead against Northampton Town. Chris Martin, former Derby striker, giving Bristol Rovers the lead. You're listening to Bournemouth 0, Burnley 1 on TalkSport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action, like Wolves versus Newcastle, live today for £11.99 with no contract. Just search Now Sports for all the details. Ball's back on halfway as Bournemouth tried to respond to that early goal from Charlie Taylor on 11 minutes that's given the Clarets the advantage. We're near at the quarter-hour mark here at the Vitality Stadium on TalkSport 2. Ryan Christie tries to collect the ball as it's fizzed in field, but it just bounced off his shin back into Burnley's possession. Al-Dakhil and O'Shea between them got the ball back to James Trafford. Elects to take a touch before clearing, and that allowed Solanke to close down the space and hurry up the clearance.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with him though, with the ball back at his feet, Trafford. You know, he looks composed. He knew that was going to be tight, and Solanke wasn't going to give him acres of space, but he was able to get away on his weaker left foot, but he's looked pretty confident with the ball played back to him.
Vincent Kompany knew all about him, of course, from his time at Manchester City. He spent £15 million to bring him to Burnley in July, James Trafford. It's the goal at the other end, clearing it now. Radu for Bournemouth. Brownhill goes in for a header just ahead of the centre circle. Just a bit of a head injury. He's just rubbing the back of his head as an inadvertent Bournemouth boot caught him. He's going to get to his feet, and we will restart with an uncontested drop ball. Zion Fleming equalises for Millwall at Watford. That's now 1-1 in the Championship. Remember, just one of the game in the Premier League kicking off at 3 o'clock, and that's still 0-0 between Arsenal and Sheffield United. Spurs 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League after that 2-0 win at Palace last night. 5 points clear, Alvin. Who'd have thought it?
That's right. Everything seems to be falling into place for them. Long way to go though.
Beautifully put. 1-0 to Burnley.
You know, you just had to stop in play there as well, Dan, you know, for the head injury. It was only a minor head injury. Do you have to stop the game for every little minor tap that somebody gets on the head? You know, let the player was on his way to getting up, and you know, I think referees should take that in consideration. You know, if the player looks like he's okay, unless he's motionless on there, or it looks like it's been a real crack to the head, let the player get up and get on with the game.
I think the protocols are pretty stiff though, in terms of, you know, head injury means stop the game, and Brownhill was rubbing the back of his head, so maybe the referee Sam Barrett felt duty bound. Long ball down the centre of the field for Bournemouth, trying to pick out the run of Semenyo, but it sails over his head and bounces through to Trafford. And now here's Amin Al-Dakhil giving the ball back to Trafford. inside his 6-yard box. Christie coming to close down the space, and the clearance only finds the middle of the half and Zabani for Bournemouth. Alex Scott now wants a Bristol City, centre of the half for Bournemouth. Lovely little drop of the shoulder to get away from Zaroury for a moment. Now Max Aarons sends the ball down the right hand side of the box for Billing, who hits it against the challenge of Josh Cullen, and that'll be a throw to Bournemouth down this near side. Aarons to take it. Billing again sees Brownhill just step in front of him, and Zaroury clear down the left hand side. Amdouni, lovely drop of the shoulder from him for a moment, and that forced Sabani to put the ball out of play for Bournemouth. Burnley throw, still just inside their own half. 17 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. It's Bournemouth 0, Burnley 1. Alvin Martin's with me today.
Yeah, Amdouni really playing up front for Burnley. You know, he's done really well on the just short of the halfway line there. He's got nowhere to go. He's got 2 Bournemouth players around him, but he's got himself a throw-in. You know, it's all those little things that, you know, that make you a difficult team to beat, Dance. And you know, obviously they've got themselves a goal without their top goal scorer on the pitch as well, which is another big plus. And like I said, it's a dangerous time now for Bournemouth. To be fair, they have passed the ball around. The reaction has been pretty good to conceding that goal. They've played with a modicum of confidence since then, but it's important that they continue that, because if the Bournemouth fans see them maybe looking a little lacklustre, lacking adventure, then they might start to get on their back. So it's really important that they keep the fans on side here, Bournemouth.
1-0 to Burnley, 18 gone. 2 teams protecting unbeaten runs of 5 meeting at Bloomfield Road, and Blackpool trail at home to Peterborough in League 1. Kwame Poku, and elsewhere in that division, Randall Williams has given Bolton the lead at Charlton Athletic. That's 4th placed Bolton, who've won 5 out of their last 6 in all competitions for Ian Evatt. Here's Chris Mepham for Bournemouth, inside his own half. Rain starts to team down once again. We've had bright sunshine and blue skies when I got here at lunchtime. Then we had a proper cloudburst just after 2 p.m. Rain's a bit steadier, but it's certainly coming down. They're using the fluorescent ball now as we're into, I guess you could call it officially autumn, with the clocks going back tonight. So the yellow fluorescent Premier League ball is now going to be in evidence for the next few months. Mansfield 1, Walsall 0. Aidan Flint up from the back to put the Stags ahead. What a run Mansfield are on. Unbeaten, 6 wins, 8 draws and 9 unbeaten at home, and they lead at the 1 call. It's 1-0 to Burnley here at the Vitality as we approach the 20-minute mark on TalkSport 2. Charlie Taylor's thumping volley on 11 minutes, but for his first goal for the Clarets, just heaping a bit more pressure on Donny Iraola, the Bournemouth manager. Ball clipped back to James Trafford, who can very calmly take it on his chest and waits and clears on the half volley over the halfway line, but Zaroury is being watched carefully by Max Aarons, so Chris Mepham picks it back up for Bournemouth. Midway point of his own half, he's looking for an option, ends up going back into square to Ilya Zabani, his centre-half partner. Zabani, square for Mepham, infield. Zaroury comes to close down the space, and then Zabani looks up to the halfway line where Billings dropped a little bit shorter. Billing out on the far side, in front of those Burnley fans in the far stand along the side of the pitch, and they watch as Bournemouth win a throw that Lloyd Kelly wants to take, and takes it quickly down for Zabani on halfway. Gillingham 0, Newport 1. Penalty from Omar Bogle puts the Exiles ahead at Gillingham. Keith Millen still in temporary charge there. Managed to win since Neil Harris was dismissed. Now Ryan Christie finds Semenya down the right hand side of the box for Bournemouth, whips the ball in, far post, touched over the bar by Tavernier. Awkward height the ball came to him at, because it missed Solanke running in at the near post. Tavernier at the far tried to connect, the ball was on the bounce and on the rise, and he just couldn't keep it down. He went over. Goal kick Burnley. The Clarets still lead 1-0.
Great play again by Semenyo. He's certainly a player that looks like he's got the beating of the fullback on this right hand side. He does really well, pace and power, gets to the byline, puts a really good ball in. To be fair to Tavernier, it was coming at him with real pace on a wet surface. It wasn't easy.
So it's a goal kick that James Trafford smacks downfield, right footed. Mepham with a strong header back towards the centre circle, but a great foot in from Josh Cullen. Great industry from him in the midfield for Burnley, and the ball's back with Vitinho on halfway. Goes back into the own half of the 2 centre halves first, O'Shea and then Aldakil. Aldakil turns away from Christie, who's now closing down Trafford, but he gets the ball up to Goodmanson. just shy of the halfway line, and Burnley try and calm things down. Taylor, the centre of his own half, gets the ball taken off him by Semenyo. Chance for Bournemouth here. Semenyo in the box. 1-1. He's deserved that. Antoine Semenyo, been Bournemouth's best player in this opening quarter, and he's brought them level in this massive game after he took the ball of Charlie Taylor, who's complaining to the referee that it was a foul. Semenyo went on into the area, and a low left-footed shot past Trafford into the bottom corner. Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1.
Well, Taylor scored a great goal to open the scoring. This one, he's made a mistake. He's done what a lot of left backs are doing now, going into midfield and playing, and they're not always comfortable with their back to play. He receives it. It was a rambunctious challenge there. It will be looked at with VAR, but certainly once he nicked the ball, it was a lovely finish with his left foot, Semenyo.
He has scored one this season so far, Semenyo. That was back in August against Liverpool. And they're obviously going to check it for VAR, they always do. And there were 3 or 4 Burnley players straight up to Sam Barrett, the referee, questioning that decision to allow play to go on. We've seen a replay from a distance, Alvin. What did you make of the challenge from Semenyo on Taylor?
I thought it was a strong challenge, but I wouldn't have given a foul for it.
And the goal stands, as did the first one. So it's 1-1 on TalkSport 2, honours even in these two teams desperate to clamber out of the relegation zone this afternoon. That's the prize for a winner of this game, going into 17th place above Luton Town, who don't play today. They play tomorrow on what will be a busy Sunday for the Sunday session on TalkSport, with Sam Matterface and Perry Groves between 1 and 6. Loads of games tomorrow. Exeter 0, Lincoln 1. Meantime, in League 1, Alistair Smith for the Imps, who dismissed Mark Kennedy a couple of weeks ago, which was a bit of a baffling decision. And Burnley have the ball back, so it's all square on TalkSport 2. Out on the right-hand side is Luca Koleosho, the American midfielder, tries to drift infield, but great challenge from Kelly. It is Semenyo again, powering over the halfway line. Solanke to his right, Tavernier to his left, trying to play it through the middle for Solanke. The better option was the player he couldn't see, and that was Marcus Tavernier left-hand side. But Bournemouth have their tails up, 1-1.
Well, the game's certainly alive, isn't it? Really important goal for Bournemouth to get back in it, and now the crowd are back on side.
Lovely ball from Semenyo, played across the face of goal by the midfielder Max Aarons, who came forward into the area, but nobody at the far post in a red and black striped shirt, so it comes to nothing. Charlton 0, Bolton 2. Dion Charles gets a second for Bolton. Norwich lead at Sunderland. Weijia Hwang putting them ahead of the Stadium of Light, and Reading lead Portsmouth, unbeaten, remember, Portsmouth in League 1. Lewis Wing with a goal for the Royals of the Select Car Leasing. And El Clasico, I think there was a goal that was ruled out. Ilkay Gundogan had put Barcelona ahead against Real Madrid, but I think VAR there has decided that's not a goal, so it's still 0-0 in El Clasico, which is kicking off at that weird old time of 3:15 on a Saturday afternoon UK time. Answers on a postcard. Throw in on the halfway for Burnley.
Vincent Kompany to our left there, Dan, just below us. He's having a close look. He's got his arms folded, looking studious, isn't he? Looking for a reaction from his team now. They took the lead. They've been penned back with another goal for Semenyo, who's he's looked really lively on this right-hand side for Bournemouth. And he'll be having a close look at his team to see how they react now. The questions are for them rather than Bournemouth, because now the crowd are back on side and the game's completely changed.
Burnley's throw up to the edge of the area. Might break for Zarori. He goes down, wanting a free kick. Nothing doing, says the referee, but Burnley have it back at the edge of the area with their goal scorer Charlie Taylor. Out to the left-hand side, chance for the ball to be whipped into the area by Brownhill. Leaves it for Zarori. Zarori just dummies to cross with his right, then drive down the left-hand side of the area with his left. And it's won a corner for Burnley. Their fourth of the half at the Steve Fletcher stand end as the rain starts to teem down at the Vitality. 1-1.
Yeah, I didn't expect either team to come away with a clean sheet today. They've let a lot of goals in both teams. I think the conditions as well were always going to make it difficult.
You can probably hear the rain on our effects microphones as it thunders into the stand above us. Really is coming down like stair rods. They're checking for a possible penalty on VAR, but I think that's been decided is no penalty for a challenge by Max Aarons. So the corner's going to come in, whips into the near post, headed out by Solanke. Koleosho's going to go to the far side to retrieve it, or maybe just let it drift out of play for a throw-in. That's what he's done. So Burnley have a throw 10 yards from the corner flag, right-hand side, over on the far side of the field from us. Reading 2, Portsmouth 0. Charlie Savage, son of Robbie. Portsmouth long unbeaten run could be coming to an end today. And Gillingham 0, Newport 2. Another penalty for Omar Bogle at the Priestfield. Burnley taking their time to get the ball back into play from this throw-in. They do now have it though. Goodmanson down by the corner flag right-hand side, but he can't keep it in play. Ends up going out for a throw to Bournemouth, and Lloyd Kelly has a quizzical word with the assistant on that far side, probably about whether he thought there should have been a free kick rather than a throw-in. It is AFC Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1 on TalkSport 2. Alvin Martin's with me today.
Look, if you're Bournemouth now and you're a Bournemouth player, you've got to get the ball over to this right-hand side for Semenyo. He's looking really strong, pacey, powerful, direct, full of confidence.
Saw him a few times at Bristol City, Alvin, when he was playing there, and looked to box the tricks and a handful. And there's a yellow card coming for a challenge in midfield by Josh Cullen, stopping Max Aarons getting through to the halfway line. So free kick to Bournemouth, and the first yellow card of the afternoon goes to Burnley's number 24, Josh Cullen, as Oxford take the lead against Wickham in League One. Ruben Rodriguez for Oxford, unbeaten in 4 at the Kazam, starting the day in second place in League One. It's currently Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1 for the latest odds. Why not head to William Hill, the official betting partner of TalkSport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Bournemouth 5-4 to win, 12-5 to Burnley, and the draw's priced at 19-10. That's all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Now, our assistant down on this near side, I'm not sure whether it's Simon Bennett or Daniel Robertson, has got a problem.
What it was is, I think he went over on his ankle. It was a sprinkler.
A sprinkler cover, yeah. One of those.
It came off and he went down it. Obviously, had his eye on the game and wasn't looking at his ankle.
No.
That's a yellow card.
For the sprinkler, yeah. And a 3-match ban if he's not careful. But, well, the referee, the assistant's going to try and carry on. He's right in front of our commentary position, just feeling his left ankle. Thinks where he feels he might have turned. Meanwhile, Arsenal lead Sheffield United in the other Premier League 3 o'clock kickoff. Eddie Nketiah making Arsenal 1, Sheffield United 0. And in the Championship, Blackburn 0, Swansea 1. Liam Cullen putting Blackburn behind. And Blackburn have 3 straight wins going into that, and back-to-back defeats for the Swans. So Liam Cullen with a big goal there for Swansea at Ewood Park. Back underway. And the assistant is not moving too freely.
He is struggling right below us.
Yeah, we're keeping a good eye on him as the long ball stumped downfield for Bournemouth, nodded down by Christie, trying to get Solanke away. He's rolled the challenge of O'Shea. Left-hand side, Tavernier puts the ball into the box. It's headed out by Burnley. No one in red and black at the edge of the area, and so it's cleared away by Zaroury, and then well held up by Amdouni. And they're trying to release Koleosho down the right-hand side of Burnley, but it's won back by the Cherries. And Marcus Tavernier down on the far side runs into trouble, but he's won a throw on that far side to be taken by Bournemouth, and all our attention's focused on the poor bloke down in front of us running the line. It's like me running the line in a kids game on a Sunday morning. I don't think I can move much faster than that.
I think that's been a bit harsh on him. But you know, I
missed working with you, Alvin.
This game, 30 minutes has gone, and we didn't know what to expect coming into it, because you know the pressure on both managers, both sets of players. But it's been a thoroughly entertaining game, I've got to say.
QPR 0, Leicester 1. Steffi Mavididi for Leicester City. 8 straight league wins for the Foxes. Could be 9, and you'll hear their chance to make it 10 on Friday night, this coming Friday night. Leicester against Leeds. Great game in prospect to start your weekend next weekend on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. Ball's back with Trafford under pressure as the ball was rolled back to him by Al Dakil. He got there in the end, just in front of Dominic Solanke, and cleared it onto the stand above us for a Bournemouth throw midway point of the Burnley half. 1-1 the score.
They're obviously confident in the goalkeeper because they use him a lot and they don't mind playing the ball to him when he is under pressure. Well, that one was a little too tight there.
Ball's back with Alex Scott, summer arrival from Bristol City, who was ripping up the Championship last year, and by all accounts had a good debut here last time out, despite the red card for Lewis Cook in that game. Harrogate 0, Crewe 1 in League 2. Zach Williams for the Railway men, and Forest Green have equalised in their game this afternoon against Crawley. Callum Morton, once of West Bromwich Albion, has given Forest Green an equaliser. Stevenage 1, Derby 0. Elsewhere in League 1, no winning 4 for Steve Evans' side, but Jordan Roberts has given them the lead at Broad Hall Way. Now down the right-hand side, Vitinho for Burnley, just ahead of his own penalty area. It's 1-1. Taylor with the opener for Burnley, equalised by Semenyo for Bournemouth. Now Goodmanson looking for Koleosho on the far right-hand side of the field, but Billing, that big bustling frame of his, steps in and wins it back. The rain has abated mostly, it's just drizzle now that's coming down at the Vitality Stadium. And a throw to Burnley just over the halfway line. Vitinho looking for an option down the line. Amdouni's calling for it, and he'll get it because of a miss by Zabanu, trying to catch the bouncing ball and didn't make it. Koleosho bursting into the area right hand side, pulls it back from the byline, and Mepham was there to head it back out to the far right hand side, but it's retrieved by Burnley. Here's Vitinho down the right hand side of the box, goes for the byline, tries to cross it, blocked by Solanke, doing his defensive duties well, and then headed out for a Burnley throw by Tavernier. 1-1.
Well, good spell for Burnley. They're keeping the ball penned back into that Bournemouth penalty area there, and there's some incisive play on that right hand side for them.
So a long throw to come, is it? Or it's actually gone down to the dead ball line. Amdouni plays it back to Goodmanson at the edge of the area. Little back heel for Brownhill, and couldn't quite get onto it because Semenyo stuck a long leg out and toe pokes it clear from the edge of the area for Bournemouth. Goes back to halfway. One back by Dara O'Shea for Burnley. Out to Koleosho on the right wing. Faced up by Tavernier. Tries to go on the outside of him. Whips a lovely ball in, right across the face of goal, and nobody could connect. But that was a super cross from the American. But nobody in Burnley yellow could convert it. Out instead for a Bournemouth throw, 1-1.
I think he's entitled to ask, why somebody wasn't in there. Amdouni was close to it, but you've got to really, if you want to get on the end of a cross like that, you've got to have a desire to really want it more than to play alongside you. And there wasn't enough desire for me there.
Goals elsewhere, 1-1 here, Reading 2, Portsmouth 1, Tino Aneurin gets one back for Pompey, Cardiff lead Bristol City in the 7-side derby, Perry NG, and Bristol Rovers have doubled their lead against Northampton, Anthony Evans with a spot kick, and Port Vale 1, Cheltenham 0, that's just gone in, Alfie Devine for the Valiants, no winning 6 for Port Vale in the league. 1-1 at the Vitality on TalkSport 2, with just over 10 to the break. Tavernier thought he won the ball back in the centre circle, but illegally so, says referee Sam Barrett. So Burnley have a free kick at the edge of the centre circle, just inside the Bournemouth half of the field. Josh Brownhill's very deliberately placed the ball down, but he's going to leave it in the end for, I think, Josh Cullen to take it. Plenty more live sport to come tomorrow in the Championship. Don't forget, we've got Rotherham against Sheffield Wednesday. That's at Hillsborough, 12:45. Our coverage starts, kick-off at 1 at Hillsborough between Sheffield Wednesday and Rotherham. No win yet, remember, for Wednesday as they go into that South Yorkshire derby. We've got some rugby union for you tomorrow afternoon on TalkSport 2 from the Premiership. Newcastle Falcons against Northampton Saints. And NFL at 5 p.m, 2 games in a row. Koleosho for Burnley, into the area, tries to pull it back from the dead ball line, and again, there are enough Bournemouth players back, Alvin Martin, to make sure the danger was snuffed out, but Koleosho's looking dangerous. I'll break off for a moment because Rory's got it. Edge of the area, tries a shot straight down the throat of Radu, who held onto it comfortably. It's 1-1, but the American winger for Burnley's looking lively as the half wears on.
Certainly he's on that right side, and they're getting better at his service to him now, and it looks like he's saying, I'm just going to get my head down, I'm going to run, and he is quick, and he is somebody that will go at you. And certainly Kelly's got his hands full at the moment. It's a good spell for Burnley.
Just to say, our NFL coverage tomorrow from 5, 2 games. The Jets at the Giants, a New York derby to kick things off, and then the Bengals against the 49ers, taking you through until midnight. So lots of live sport right here on TalkSport 2 tomorrow from 12:45. Just keep this frequency clear. Barnsley 1, Fleetwood 2. Fleetwood back in front through Junior Quintana's second of the afternoon. 1-1 at the Vitality. Bournemouth in possession. Christie fouled by Brownhill, but the referee says play on because the ball's played out to Marcus Tavernier into the near post, looking for Solanke. Good challenge by Dara O'Shea, turning it over his own crossbar for a corner kick to Bournemouth because he knew that Dominic Solanke was right behind him. 1-1.
Yeah, good quality move from Bournemouth. But I think that both teams played some really good football. Considering the conditions, the swirl and wind, the rain, the entertainment factor has been really high, and both teams again have come out in an attacking way. It's made a really good game of it.
So it's Alex Scott to take the corner in front of the Burnley fans on that far side at the Ted McDougall end of the ground. Whipped in by Scott. Free header for Mepham, pushed up and over by James Trafford. Free header 6 yards out for Chris Mepham. He got it on target, but Trafford was equal to it. Corner 1-1.
Vincent Kompany will be absolutely furious because that should be 2-1. Mepham really has got no one making the challenge. He's got a free head at the ball, from 7 yards at the most, and he's got to head that down, Dan. So he's got to find the corner. When you're not being opposed, you've got a free header. You've got to find the corner.
So both managers will be furious. Iraola because he ain't scored it. Kompany because he had a free header. No one's happy. Corner kick, 1-1. Tavernier to send it in left-footed. Good delivery deep to the far post. Good header clear by O'Shea. Comes out to the left-hand side of the area, and Alex Scott for Bournemouth whips the ball right-footed to the far post, looking for Billing, and no one got a touch. Billing left it thinking that Vitinho was going to get a touch, and somebody did in a yellow shirt, because it's another corner to Bournemouth at the Ted McDougall end. 1-1.
Well, the game has to and fro. Now it's Bournemouth who are looking the more likely, and I tell you what, Vitinho did really well there because he had Billing on the far post, and he towers above Vitinho.
Tavernier again with a left-footed in-swinging corner, sends it in now to the far post. Good punch cleared by Trafford, came into traffic, did really well, and he's cleared it out as far as Alex Scott, drifting down the inside left channel for Bournemouth. Semenyo's popped up there on that left-hand side now for the hosts, has to roll it back 15 yards or so infield for Zabani. Now it's with Ryan Christie just ahead of the centre circle. Aaron's to his immediate right, but he just lofts it up to the edge of the area. Comfortably won by Amdouni, back doing defending for Burnley. Claret's desperate to get it out of harm's way. Amdouni hits the ball against Billing and then tidied up by Zaroury, back for his keeper, and anywhere will do for James Trafford, and it's hoofed downfield and out for a throw. Goals elsewhere. Wigan lead Shrewsbury, who are down to 10 men. Remember, Shrewsbury by Galton or Stephen Humphreys. Sunderland equalise at home to Norwich. That's 1-1. Try Hume. Stoke 2 up at Middlesbrough. Remember, Middlesbrough on one hell of a run. 7 straight wins for Michael Carrick's men. But Mehdi Leris makes it 2-0 for Stoke at the Riverside. And Stevenage 1, Derby 1. The Rams equalised through Nathaniel Mendez-Lang at the Lamex. Throw in on the near side to us, right in front of our commentary position for Charlie Taylor. You're listening to Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1 on TalkSport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Wolves versus Newcastle live today for £11.99 with no contract. Search Now Sports for all the details. 5 minutes to half time. All square, 1-1. Billing for Bournemouth. Plays the ball into space for Lloyd Kelly, running over the halfway line to pick it up on the far left-hand side. Tavernier in support, level with the area. Plays the ball in field to Alex Scott. Socks rolled down to halfway down towards his ankles, Jack Grealish style. Now here's down the left-hand side of the area. Tavernier gets to the byline, pulls it back. Solanke trying to flick it on its way, looking for someone at the far post, but it took a touch off a Burnley player instead. And Bournemouth have another corner at the Ted McDougall end, 1-1.
Well, they're certainly passing the ball around with a lot of confidence. In fact, these two teams don't look like they're lacking confidence. I think the standard of football has been excellent.
I think they know that they've got the measure in some ways of their opponents and a chance to take 3 points. Scott with his latest corner for Bournemouth, whipped right under the crossbar, headed out by Dara O'Shea, picked up on the right hand side of the area by Tavernier. Tavernier looks to go on the outside of Zaroury, pulls it back. Mepham, a swing and a complete miss on 8 yards. He tried to smash it home at the near post, but it got stuck under his feet, and then he fouls his man Charlie Taylor as he tried to clear, and that'll be a free kick to Burnley in their own left back position as QPR equalise against the Championship leaders Leicester. That's 1-1 at the Loft. Andre Dizelle, son of Jason Dizelle, gets the equaliser for Gareth Ainsworth's men. But free kick here to Burnley, 1-1, and Chris Mepham had a great chance then, Alvin Martin.
Yeah, it was more difficult than the header. I thought the header certainly should have made a better deal of that. But this one, he was being crowded around. I think it was a ball that come to him, and he wasn't expecting it. And there's a typical centre-half trying to swivel and getting it wrong.
Spoken from experience, Alvin?
Just one or two over the years.
Okay, just checking. Free kick for George Trafford. Actually, the last time Alvin and I were sat watching Bournemouth, do you remember, Alvin? It was that game at Arsenal last February or March, was it?
Yeah.
When Bournemouth were 2-0 up and cruising, and the Gary O'Neill in Arsenal staged that extraordinary comeback, including the winner from Reece Nelson in the very last seconds of the game. And Arsenal are ahead this afternoon, in case you're just tuning in, against Sheffield United. That's 1-0, Eddie Nketiah. 1-1 here at the Vitality, and a goal kick for Burnley away to our right-hand side. Harry Kane scored for Bayern Munich this afternoon in the Bundesliga. At it again as they lead Darmstadt. Kick downfield from the Burnley goalkeeper Trafford, over the head of Amdouni, but Zaroury fighting hard for possession, and then the ball's lofted over the top, almost getting Amdouni in behind Mepham. There were enough Bournemouth players back to win it, and then early ball from Christie, great ball, sending Semenyo away down the right hand side. Solanke up in support, now Billing joining them, Semenyo still with it, inside the area, shot deflected into the side netting, and behind for another corner kick to Bournemouth with the Ted McDougall into our right. 1-1.
Well, I think there's lots of individual battles all over the pitch, but there's certainly the one between Taylor and Semenyo is the one that I'm keeping an eye on. And as soon as he faces up one-on-one in the penalty area, I felt maybe he should have gone on some a little bit quicker. He cut in on his left foot, and it was a shot that was deflected wide in the end, but he certainly has got Taylor on the run.
I think that's 6 corners for Bournemouth, with this latest one that Marcus Tavernier is spotting down, just down to our right-hand side where the main stand meets the Ted McDougall. So a left-footed delivery to come from Tavernier. In it comes, deep to the far post. Solanke was the target, but it's over his head. 2 bounces is behind for a Burnley goal kick. We've got just over a minute of normal time to go, plus whatever referee Barrett wants to add on for stoppages. One apiece on TalkSport.
Yeah, there are a lot of corners. I think both teams, certainly Bournemouth, and Tavernier his delivery has been excellent, Dan. They really crowd around the goalkeeper Trafford, make it difficult for him. He can't come and get it, and there's been 1 or 2 really close misses for Bournemouth in that respect. It wouldn't surprise me to see him get a goal from that.
Yeah, good pace on the corners, very good pace. Burnley clear their lines up to halfway. Amdouni is pushed by the defender Chris Mepham, so a free kick to the Clarets that they want to take quickly, and they do, and they get Vitinho away inside the Bournemouth half. Koleosho up to his right hand side. Here is the American, first time cross from him off the back of Lloyd Kelly, and out for a throw. MK Dons 1, Swindon 0 in League 2. Max Dean for MK Dons under new management, of course. Mike Williamson having left Gateshead a couple of weeks ago, having done a great job in the National League with the North East club. We're going to go into 3 minutes of minimum stoppage time in just a moment, with 44 minutes 50 seconds on the clock. Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1 on TalkSport 2. Throw in for Bournemouth on their left hand side, inside their own half. Up goes the board, signifying that 3 minutes as Philip Billing tried to fire the ball across field, but the referee's whistle had already gone for a free kick to Burnley.
The referee's whistle hasn't gone very often. You know why? Because he's been very good in the first half. Well, I shouldn't say it really, but
I mentioned before. Well, as I say, he's been fast-tracked.
Yeah, very, very good, Dan. Look, he's a referee that knows a foul, but doesn't think that every foul has got to be a booking. You know, I think that's where a lot of referees get it wrong. And if it's a foul, fine, but it doesn't have to be a yellow card. He's got 1 yellow card on, which was correct, and apart from that, I think he's been excellent.
Port Vale 1, Cheltenham 1. Sean Long for Cheltenham, getting them level. And the ball's back at the edge of the Bournemouth box, and Mepham floats it downfield, but Charlie Taylor wins it back for Burnley. Josh Cullen running along the halfway line to around the centre spot. Plays it to Vitinho. Sunderland lead against Norwich. Dan Neil putting them ahead right on half-time. Sunderland 2, Norwich 1 in the Championship, where earlier today Leeds thumped Huddersfield live on TalkSport 2 in the West Yorkshire Derby. 4-1 it finished at Ellen Road. Southampton on the south coast, just along from here, beat Birmingham by 3-1 in the other 12:30 game in the Championship. Now Semenyo trying to get him behind, down the right side of the ball. Trafford, did he carry the ball outside the area? Semenyo pleading with the assistant on this near side that he did. In the end, a throw merely has been given to Bournemouth, but James Trafford came out to the left-hand edge of his box under pressure from Semenyo. Now, did he hold on to it once he'd travelled outside the area? Very hard to tell, even from the replays that we're now looking at, Alvin.
Well, they've got a strong case, that is for sure, Bournemouth. It was a really tight call. He came, held on to it. Did he carry it out? It was a split second. It would have been millimetres if it was. Looks like it's been looked at and been ruled out.
Again, we play on without any reversal of decision, and we're into that 3 minutes of added time. In fact, 2 of those 3 minutes have gone. Christie for Bournemouth, down the right-hand side of the box, finds Solanke trying to make room for a shot. It's blocked, comes out to Billing at the edge of the area, fires it over the bar, got power behind it and the pace, but not the direction Philip Billing. Goal kick to Burnley as it whistles past the angle of post and bar. Goal kick 1-1.
Semenyo again, and I've got to say, Solanke, he actually did really well. He had a lot of people around him, got the shot away, ricocheted back to Billing, and Billing's better than this. He's got time to get his body over the ball and hit the target. He goes for power, it's miles over the bar.
Goal kick smacked downfield by James Trafford for Burnley, looking for Amdouni. Ball bounces over his head. Koleosho can't get onto the second ball. Stevenage back in front against Derby at the Lamex, and Ipswich equalised against Plymouth. Ballymumba with an own goal. Ipswich fans will have enjoyed that, as the former Norwich man levels things up there at Portman Road. That's second placed Ipswich, level on half time. The leaders are 1-1 with QPR. That's a half-time score now in the Championship at Loftus Road. And there goes the half-time whistle from Sam Barrett here, and it's 1-1 in this battle between two basement clubs desperate to clamber out of the bottom three, which is the prize on offer for a winner. Charlie Taylor thumped Burnley in front on 11 minutes with a brilliantly taken volley, his first goal for the club from the edge of the area after a corner wasn't properly cleared by Bournemouth. But Antoine Semenyo, arguably Bournemouth's best player of their first 45 minutes, got Bournemouth level, robbing the ball off Taylor midway point of the Burnley half, going through to the edge of the area, and a low left-footed drive past the goalkeeper Trafford and nestling in the bottom corner. It's been breathless stuff, Alvin Martin. Tempo very high, and both sides know there's a winner there to be had. 1-1.
Yeah, I think both managers will look at their teams and think, you know what, they've given me everything, can't ask for any more. The pressure's well and truly on both sets of players, and they've come up with a credible first half performance in both respects. But look, the game is still anyone's, and it's still open. It still looks like two sets of players that believe that certainly a win could do the power of good for both of them, and that's the reward that's there. But I'd be surprised how well they've played in general. I think the standard of the game has been excellent.
It's an intriguing second half to come live on TalkSport. So at the break, it's Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1. Thank you, Faye. And there is a change, and it comes for the visitors at half-time, where Zeki Amdouni has been withdrawn, and a man who's got a great goal-scoring record against Bournemouth, Jay Rodriguez, is on to replace him. It's a like-for-like switch, Alvin. More of a traditional number 9. Where's the number 9, Jay Rodriguez? But you know what I mean. More of a traditional centre-forward as we're back underway.
Yeah, but he's not going to run behind anyone, that is for sure. But he will offer himself as a target to play off. And I think, he will hold the ball up and he'll bring other people into play. And one thing about him, Dan, so you feel that if a chance does fall to him, he's more than capable and has got the ability and the experience to be able to take it.
So we're back underway. Bournemouth in their red and black striped shirts, black shorts and socks, kicking towards the Steve Fletcher stand away to our left in this second half, as we sat halfway up in the main stand. Bill Foley not too far from our commentary position, the Bournemouth owner of the Las Vegas Golden Knights ice hockey team as well. Burnley in their change strip today of yellow shirts and socks. There's a black stripe down the yellow shirt and black shorts as well. I'm running through the lineups in just a moment with that change that's been made, but here come Bournemouth down their far right hand side with their goal scorer Antoine Semenyo driving in field, tries to play the ball up to the edge of the area for Christie, deflects back to Max Aarons, going on the outside of Anis Sarori, goes to ground, Free kick down the right-hand side of the box to Bournemouth, who line up with Radu in goal, Aaron, Zabani, Mepham, Kelly at the back, Scott, Christie, Semenyo, Billing, Tavernier and Solanke. Then for Burnley, it's now Trafford, Vitinho, Al-Dakil, O'Shea and Taylor, Brownhill and Cullen, Koleosho, Goodmanson, Zarori and Rodriguez. Free kick down the right-hand side of the box in Alvin for Bournemouth. And Tavernier delivery from corners were good in that first half.
Yeah, that's right. It's an area where, you know, they've certainly delivered. What they need is to get somebody on the end of the delivery now, and I think that's the important thing for them.
Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 0 in the half-time at El Clasico. And Tavernier marking the ball very carefully as he places it on the deck for a free kick just down from the right-hand corner of the penalty box. Burnley holding their line on 6 yards. As Tavernier raises his right arm, drills it in left-footed and punched high in the air by Trafford, who elected again not to punch. Goodmanson gets it half clear, lofted back into the box by Billing. Might drop for Kelly. Rodriguez back there to defend. And then Tavernier again on the drive, and it's down low for Trafford to save on his goal line. Just didn't quite catch it the way he would have wanted Marcus Tavernier, but a half chance for Bournemouth at the start of this second half, 1-1.
A little surprised really that Trafford didn't hold on to that first one, and just get rid of the danger straight away. He decided to punch it, went straight up in the air, and he kept the pressure on his team by doing that.
He did that in the first half, didn't he? Elected to punch when he could.
Look, there is a little bit of a swirl and wind out there, but on that occasion it was a ball that was hit with power, and it was straight onto his hands, both hands.
Ian Danter and Alvin Martin with you on TalkSport 2. A couple of minutes gone in the second half here at the Vitality. Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1. 19th against 18th at the start of play, remember. Ball's with Max Aarons, who finds Semenyo, having to go back to the halfway line to keep possession. Bayern Munich is 7-0 up apparently in the German Bundesliga late on against Darmstadt. Jamal Musiala is getting in on the act on the goals. I know Harry Kane scored at least one this afternoon. From the halfway line, apparently, Musiala, or was it Harry Kane from the halfway line and Musiala? Oh yeah, he scored from the halfway line. He's trying to outdo Beckham now, the England captain. Long ball downfield looking for Semenyo, but it's overhit. Behind for a Burnley goal kick. So Burnley are attacking the Ted McDougall stand end to our right in this second half. The Burnley fans in the opposite stand to us, in that sort of corner, closest to where their team are attacking in this second half. Harvey Saunders has been sent off for Tranmere for a second yellow card. They're already trailing away at Stockport, the leaders of League 2. 1-0 to Stockport County, heading for 11 straight wins under Dave Challoner as things stand. That's a great record at League 2, and remember they started the season somewhat sluggishly, Stockport. So Rory for Burnley. Can't get past the challenge of Aarons, who won it well. Now on halfway, Ryan Christie for Bournemouth. Looks early for Solanke, goes beyond him and actually bisects him and Tavernier on this near side. And it goes behind for a goal kick to Burnley. Oliver Casey's been sent off for Blackpool, professional foul, denying a clear goal scoring opportunity. Blackpool were trailing at home to Peterborough, and I'm just seeing my producer Carl show me the footage of Harry Kane in the centre circle. Oh my goodness,
better than Beckham.
It was well. There's a debate for Natalie Sawyer and Tony Cascarino on the Weekend Sports Breakfast tomorrow morning, as they may well debate that. Join Natalie and Tony from 6 a.m. for the best start to your Sunday morning. Arsenal double their lead against Sheffield United, the other team in the bottom three other than these two that we're watching here. Eddie Nketiah has a second of the afternoon. Arsenal 2, Sheffield United 0. All these rumours going round that if Sheffield United didn't get something at Arsenal, Paul Heckingbottom's job would be under severe threat, with Chris Wilder supposedly circling for a potential return to South Yorkshire. And Andoni Iraola, the manager here at Bournemouth, under no illusions that his job would be under severe pressure if they didn't get the 3 points here today. I don't know what a draw would do for his prospects, Alvin, if it stays at 1-1.
Well, as I said, to play half-time, Dance, the onus is on Bournemouth. They're at home, and this is a fantastic opportunity. The fixture certainly is one that they've got to win, I think.
They've got Liverpool to come on Tuesday in the EFL Cup of Bournemouth as they come forward with Antoine Semenyo, 25 yards out, quite central, runs into Goodmanson, who wins the ball back for Burnley. Koleosho finds Rodriguez, but he turns into trouble, and now Solanke trying to turn at the edge of the area, floats it over the top. Semenyo tries to bring it down with his back to goal, but again there's enough Burnley shirts back there to volley it clear. And Harrison Burrows has doubled Peterborough's lead, and Blackpool, having gone down to 10 men, and now 2 goals down at Bloomfield Road. 1-1 here, good atmosphere at the Vitality Stadium, bit of belief from the locals that Bournemouth have got a chance of getting their noses in front and coming from behind here. Balls with Chris Mepham up to the halfway line, where it's drilled downfield by Christie, looking for the run of Solanke, heads it up in the air on the run, but that allowed James Trafford to come and be favourite to get the ball as it dropped out of the sky, which he was. Barged into Solanke as he did so, and Solanke's come off worse and is lying flat on his back inside the Burnley 6-yard box. 1-1 the score on TalkSport.
Solanke is somebody that wants to, play on the shoulder of the last defender, and he caught one really on his left shoulder here. He's had the first touch with his head, and Trafford's come out, claimed it. He's got his eye on the ball, but it looks like he has took a sore one there on his left shoulder.
Back on his feet now. Morecambe 1, AFC Wimbledon 0 in League 2. Michael Mellon gets his 7th of the season for the Shrimps, who are 7 unbeaten. AFC Wimbledon no win in 4. Johnny Jackson's team's form has gone off a cliff a little bit. Had my first trip to Plough Lane early in the season when they beat Coventry in the EFL Cup. Very enjoyable night there. Lovely little stadium they've got there. And the EFL Cup is front and centre in midweek on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. We're going round the grounds on Tuesday with selected ties, and then we've got a couple of commentaries for you on Wednesday night from the competition, both involving Premier League sides. AFC Bournemouth against Liverpool on TalkSport here at the Vitality, and Manchester United Newcastle United in the EFL Cup. That's live on TalkSport 2. Bill Foley looking on, we can see from the director's box just up and to our left here at the Vitality Stadium. He looks on as the opposition win it back. Burnley on the halfway line. Anis Zaroury, who's got a long shot at him, scored some amazing goals last season for Burnley in their stroll to the Championship title. Now Josh Brownhill trotting down the left-hand side for Burnley, gives it back to Zaroury, works it back into the centre of the Bournemouth half for Vitinho, looks early down this right-hand side for Koleosho, who's got Lloyd Kelly isolated, drives on the outside of him to the byline, pulls it back into the near post, but there was a Bournemouth player to ricochet it away from danger. I think it was Zabani, you got the vital touch, but Burnley win it back. Vitinho and Cullen looking strong. Now Zaroury 30 yards out, checked onto his right foot, thought about a shot for a moment, but Cullen spots Goodmanson and then Koleosho on this right hand side, level with the edge of the area. Vitinho slides it into the box, Zaroury across the face of goal, and well claimed by Radu, and it's 1-1.
Good pass to play for Burnley all around the edge of the Bournemouth penalty area. Zaroury just needs to dig his toe underneath that. He's got a target at the far post, and he doesn't get enough on it, and the keeper's able to come out, Radu, and catch it easy.
Weren't you and I talking about the ability to cross a ball on the run? Yeah, down in the press room earlier, talking about players in our, well, certainly in my youth, like Dave Thomas of QPR and Everton, who's one of the best crossers I ever saw, who could cross a ball on the run, no trouble at all. Offside flag goes up against Bournemouth as they try and come forward. You're listening to Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1 on TalkSport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Wolves versus Newcastle live today for £11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports for all the details.
Certainly in this game, Dan, you got I think two outstanding wide players. One for Burnley on this right hand side, Koleosho, who's really a menace when he's got the ball at his feet. And for Bournemouth, Semenyo, he's another. But I don't think Bournemouth got the ball to him as much as they could have in the second half. He showed that he's got the beating of Taylor if they get the service to him. But they've certainly got to be better in that fashion.
Josh Cullen dispossessed by Billing, and Bournemouth are on the counter-attack. Ryan Christie in the centre of the Burnley half, travelling up to the edge of the area, showed too much of that to Goodmanson, but Goodmanson slipped as he tried to bring the ball clear. Bournemouth have it back. Aarons, early ball into the box, looking for Solanke, headed away by Al-Dakhil, but Aarons on the charge, picks it up again right-hand side. It's brought down by Taylor down the right-hand side, just outside the area. It's going to be a yellow card for Charlie Taylor for hauling down Aarons, and it'll be a free kick that's as good as a short corner to Bournemouth at 1-1.
and a warranted booking again. I mean, Taylor didn't just he hauled him down. It's assault, really, this, isn't it? That's unbelievable.
It's a wrestling, it's a clothesline he's given him.
But it's a good position, certainly a good position for Bournemouth to be able to deliver again here.
Some Scottish FA Cup round 2 ties tonight, and the brilliantly named Civil Service Strollers are playing today, but they are losing at home to Stranraer. Mansfield 1, Walsall 1. Ryan Sturck equalises for Walsall at the 1 call. Morecambe 2, AFC Wimbledon 0. Joe Lewis with an own goal. And Stockport have doubled the lead against 10-man Tranmere, Anthony Sarkovic. And Colchester lead at Accrington by a goal to 0. Matty Etherington, I think, is in charge at Accrington. Sander Berger on shortly for Burnley, but meantime Burnley have got a free kick to defend. It's like a short corner down the right-hand side for Bournemouth. At the dead ball line, Tavernier, whose quality's been good this afternoon, drills it in along the deck, put across the face of goal by Semenyo, and blocked behind for a corner by the goalkeeper James Trafford. Another corner for Bournemouth, this time at the Steve Fletcher end, and it stays 1-1 on TalkSport 2.
Well, they're keeping Burnley pen back in there now. We've talked about the delivery time and time again. It's been excellent. You can see a goal coming sooner rather than later.
Tavernier again with this set piece, left-footed in swinger to come at the Steve Fletcher end. Again, lots of pace on it. Up went Kelly, couldn't connect with the header. Mepham tries to head it goalwards. It's volleyed away by Dara O'Shea. Hat-trick for Eddie Nketiah. Arsenal 3, Sheffield United 0. Here's Alex Scott down the left-hand side of the area for Bournemouth, trying to get the better of Koleosho, who's holding him up, can't get the cross in, so he rolls it back to Christie, darting down the left-hand side towards the byline, whips the left-footed ball in. Good claim by Trafford on his 6-yard line, and the danger passes for the moment for Burnley. 1-1 the score.
Again, another example of somebody just not getting enough on it. When he got to the byline there, Christie took his toe underneath it, but didn't get enough on it. He needed another yard's pace on that.
Coutinho tried to clear it, was straight into the path of Christie. Trafford's cleaned out. Solanke inside the area going for the ball. There's screams for a penalty, including Andoni Iraola, whose arms are outstretched. But Sam Barrett, the referee, says no foul. We play on at 1-1.
Trafford's very fortunate to get away with that. If an outfield player does that on the pitch, doesn't get near the ball but takes the player out, it's a foul. For some reason he's got away with that, and I'd like to see that one again.
Shades of Onana against Sarcevic in that opening weekend of the season at Old Trafford. Oxford 1, Wycombe 1. Luke Leahy with a penalty, and Ipswich are back in front against Plymouth 2-1. George Hurst, son of David, with the goal.
Look at that, there's been a challenge. Taylor, Semenyo there, and the both of them went for it. He got the ball, Taylor, he didn't give a foul, and the Bournemouth player got up and just played on because he knew the referee had got it right.
QPR down to 10 men at home to Leicester. It's 1-1 still there, but Andre Dezelu scored QPR's goal. Second bookable offence for him. 2 lemons make a strawberry. He's gone. 1-1 here as well at the Vitality. We've played nearly an hour on TalkSport 2. Bayern Munich 8, Darmstadt 0. Harry Kane scored another for Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga this afternoon, and there's change coming. Finally, Sander Berger gets a chance to get his feet on the playing surface, and Josh Collins, the man, coming off. So it's a like-for-like swap in a way, Alvin Martin, but Berger's a much more physical, taller, muscular presence in that midfield than Josh Cullen.
Yeah, I think, especially we talked about the delivery from Bournemouth, how many balls they've thrown into that box. It's another player with an aerial defensive situation that they can take advantage of. But the game is certainly not lacking invention, but I would have thought we'd have seen a goal by now.
Scott finds Billing as Bournemouth come forward down the left-hand side of the box. It's Marcus Tavernier, has to run out to the touchline to collect the loose ball. Gets it back, having played a 1-2 with Kelly. That's worked back into the centre of the half for Zabarnyi. And now the other centre-half for Bournemouth, Mepham. Up into the area, Tavernier across the face of goal, punched away by Trafford. And there were Bournemouth players running in, and there was an offside flag up anyway. So a free kick to Burnley inside their penalty area. But Bournemouth are asking more of the questions at the moment at 1-1.
And I think they're taking more risks. I think they feel that it's a game that they've got to win. I think it's a game that their company and Burnley do not want to lose. I think that's starting to show itself in the way they're approaching the game now, both these teams.
TalkSport breakfast back from 6 a.m. on Monday with Ali McCoist and Andy Townsend, looking back at a huge weekend of sport, including tomorrow's Manchester derby, all the other Premier League matches tomorrow, the Rugby World Cup final, and Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou. TalkSport breakfast Monday morning from 6. And there is a bit of a watch along tonight on the TalkSport YouTube boxing channel for events in Saudi Arabia between Fury and Ngannou. Fight nights here from 9 o'clock on TalkSport tonight with Adam Cattrall and the team. Gareth A. Davies is actually out there in Riyadh for that bout. Clear barge from Anis Aruri on Max Aarons, giving Bournemouth a free kick. Peterborough have a third at 10-man Blackpool. Ricky J. Jones makes it Blackpool 0, Peterborough 3 in League One. Now Dominic Solanke picking up a ball down the left-hand side of the area. Takes Dara O'Shea with him. Finds Billing. Back to the left-hand corner of the box, and again, and Solanke leaves it for Kelly. Ball into the box, and it's shanked out of play for, I think, a corner off Dara O'Shea, as Bournemouth continue to turn the screw here, Alvin Martin.
Yeah, I don't think we're seeing too much of Burnley at this moment in time as an attacking unit. It's all about, defending their own penalty area at the moment.
It is a corner. It did get shanked out of play at that Steve Fletcher end to our left-hand side. So a right-footed corner coming in, an in-swinger from Alex Scott. Again, great pace on it, under the crossbar, headed out well at the back by Dara O'Shea. But it comes back to Alex Scott on this near side, the Bournemouth left, jinking away from Koleosho, gets inside his man to the byline, pulls it back to Billing, who couldn't get the shot in, and nor could Semenyo. But again, a last-ditch challenge from a Burnley boot, touched it behind for a Bournemouth corner, 1-1.
He's looking a good player, isn't he, Scott? He's got a lot of composure on the ball. He wants to drive, he can pass it. Just felt that maybe Billing was the better option there. He just pulled it a little bit in front of him, just maybe at the vital moment, just pushed it.
But he will have the corner, Alex Scott. Again, right-footed. Again, great pace on it. Goalkeeper flaps at it and gets something on it and turns it behind for another corner, this time on the far side. These corners are really causing problems. Absolutely. But they haven't scored from one yet. 1-1.
Well, you can't ask any more of your players if you're, the Bournemouth manager here. They're giving everything, and how on earth they haven't scored up to this moment in the second half, I don't know.
I think that's 10 corners for Bournemouth. Tavernier with the latest one, left-footed in-swinger. Again, pacey, up goes the goalkeeper, punches clear, he was being fouled. And a bit of respite for Burnley as they win a free kick. 1-1 at Stadium MK in League 2. MK Dons 1, Swindon 1. Jake Young with his 10th of the season for Swindon. Blackpool get a consolation goal back, it seems, against Peterborough. They're a man down, but they've got to go through Kenneth Dougal. Blackpool 1, Peterborough 3. And Andy Cook equalises for Bradford at Sutton United. That's 1-1 at Gander Green Lane. 1-1 here too at the Vitality, between two of the bottom three in the Premier League. Either side get the 3 points, they will come out of that bottom three, temporarily at least, with Luton Town not playing today. They play against Villa tomorrow, one of a number of games under focus on the Sunday session, with Sam Matterface and Perry Groves. Morecambe 3, Wimbledon 0. Michael Mellon with another goal. I think that's 8 for the season now. He scores from the penalty spot as Morecambe continue their excellent recent run in League 2. Goal kick for Burnley, and Vincent Kompany must be wondering what to do next. Portsmouth have come back from 2-0 down. You have to shake your head at Portsmouth. What a team they are. 2-0 down away at Reading, and now Terry Devlin has made it Reading 2, Portsmouth 3. John Mousinho is having one hell of a first job in management at the leaders of League 1. Sander Berger for Burnley, meantime. Out to the left-hand side. Charlie Taylor, who feels like an eternity since he put Burnley ahead with that thumping volley in the 11th minute. Change coming up for Burnley, incidentally, at the next break in play. Just looking to see who it is. I'm not sure whether it's Jakob Brun-Larsen it is who scored the winner at Luton Town for Burnley's only Premier League win of the season so far. But Burnley have still got some defending to do here. Tavernier inside left channel, places that to Billing on the left wing. Well, he brought it to Solanke, got the effort on target, but it was straight at James Trafford. Had to make the save all the same. Did it well. 25 minutes to go. Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1 on TalkSport 2.
Bournemouth will dominate possession, and we haven't really seen enough of Billing, because he's I think a player that makes Bournemouth tick. But that was a great ball in from the left-hand side, and it's a really difficult one for Solanke. He gets across the near post, and he has to connect with the outside of his right boot. He did it really well, just didn't have enough power to beat Trafford.
Tavernier up to the edge of the area. Christie goes down 25 yards out. Billings kept the ball in play, but the whistle's long since gone because Bournemouth have now won a free kick. There's a yellow card for Amin Al-Dakil for that challenge on Ryan Christie, but more importantly for Bournemouth, it gives them a free kick to the left of centre. Position A for a right-footed free kick here, Alvin Martin. 1-1.
Yeah, I think there's a swirling wind that's made it very difficult in terms of the quality of the game this afternoon. I think the players have combated that pretty well, to be fair. But that's also a problem from this sort of situation. You know, you're getting a ball up and over the wall, but sometimes the wind can just keep it up rather than letting it drop down, and it's so difficult for the free kick taker.
Well, Alex Scott may well fancy a crack at goal here. Billings standing right over the ball, but Alex Scott's deliberately taken a few paces back from the ball, favours the right-footed effort. Trafford waits, just sorts out his wall. So at least a 3-man, maybe 4-man Burnley wall, but there's 2 Bournemouth players stood directly in front of that Burnley wall. 30 yards out, this free kick for Bournemouth. Alex Scott up to the ball, right-footed, looks for the top corner, and it's not far away, only a yard or 2 wide of the angle of post and bar. So it's a goal kick for Burnley, and they're going to make that change, and Anis Zaroury is going off, so that the man that scored the winner at Kenilworth Road, Jakob Brun-Larsen, can come on for Burnley. Elsewhere, Bristol Rovers 2, Northampton 1. Manny Monte gets a goal back for Northampton. Blackpool 2, Peterborough 3. They're down to 10 men, but they've got another goal back. Sonny Carey and Ross County lead at Motherwell in the Scottish Premiership. Second bottom Ross go in front through Eamon Brophy. Django Ouattara also going to come on, and Antoine Semenyo gets a proper ovation from around the Vitality Stadium for what's been an all-action performance. He's got the goal that drew Bournemouth level, but he's off, and Ouattara is on, Alvin Martin.
Yeah, I was watching that at half-time, you know, the replays of that, the challenge on Taylor, you know, they complained about it. I think they've got a case, Burnley. I think, you know, if you watch that tonight, you know, dare say people have their own opinions of it, but I think he did clip Taylor, and it was a foul, but the referee and VAR allowed it to stand, and that's where we are at the moment, 1-1.
Goal kick for Burnley, driven downfield by James Trafford, over the head of Brun-Larsen, who can't get involved for the first time yet this afternoon. Mepham fires it back, looking for a player down the right-hand side for Bournemouth, but it goes out of play for a throw. Sander Berge, always elegant in possession, always looked like he's got all the time in the world on the ball, the former Sheffield United man. Sheffield United 3-0 down at Arsenal. Wigan go 2-0 up on Shrewsbury in League One through Callum Lang at the DW. Swing and a miss by Johan Berg Gudmundsson, and Bournemouth win it back down their left-hand side. It's with Marcus Tavernier. Great whip on the cross, but straight into the grateful arms of James Trafford. Again, the delivery was super, but I think ahead of Solanke.
I think Trafford really, you know, he claimed that. I think that's good goalkeeping, because if he doesn't come for that, then it creates all sorts of panic in that back line.
MK Dons 2, Swindon 1. MK Dons back in front at Stadium MK through Warren O'Hora. It's 1-1 here with just over 20 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. Bayern Munich have declared at 8 and have won 8-0 against Darmstadt. It's 1-0 to Barcelona in El Clasico. Don't forget Trans-Europe Express tomorrow night, 9 p.m. with Danny Kelly on TalkSport, along with Andy Brassel. It's a fantastic show, giving you 3 hours of all the information you need about the various European leagues. It's a great show. Trans-Europe Express tomorrow night from 9, after the final word with DJ Majestic and Alan Pardew at 6 p.m. through till 9, taking your calls on all tomorrow afternoon's Premier League football. 1-1 here at the Vitality. Trafford finds Dara O'Shea inside his own area for Burnley. Rodriguez fires it out to Johan Berg Gudmundsson inside his own half. It's a short back pass. It almost played Coutinho into trouble, but he got there just ahead of Marcus Tavernier. Ball bounces around halfway. Ouattara puts in a brave header to win the ball back, and it's back with Radu, who's had very little to do. Andre Radu on his Premier League debut, other than watch the ball fire past him early in the piece from Charlie Taylor. Alvin Martin, he's had far less to do than his opposite number today.
And that tells you that, you know, Bournemouth have been the better team overall. It's, like you say, still 1-1 at the moment. It's just whether they can make, you know, their superiority count. But certainly, you know, in the final third, that little bit of quality has been lacking from Bournemouth's point of view.
So it is still 1-1. The game's there to be won from either side, and that prize of getting out of the bottom three available to a winner of this game is still there. We've got 19 minutes to play plus added time on TalkSport 2. Don't forget the game day phone-in coming up at 5:30 with Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Agbonlahor. If you tune in to TalkSport once we're done here at 5 o'clock, you'll hear a classified check from Adrian Durham, and then hopefully between sort of 10 past and 5:30 you'll get a chance to hear from the two managers here today, Bournemouth and Burnley fans. Ian Abrahams is here today. He'll be catching up with both Vincent Kompany and Andoni Iraola. Once we're done here, you should hear those interviews over on TalkSport before the phone-in starts at 5:30. Ball's back with James Trafford, the Burnley goalkeeper. Clears under pressure from Tavernier. Port Vale 1, Cheltenham 2. Could it be another win for Cheltenham? Sean Long's got his second of the afternoon for the Robins, and they lead at Vale Park. And St Mirren 3-0 up on St Johnstone in the Scottish Premiership. Ball over the top for Burnley, trying to get Jakob Brun-Larsen in behind Aarons, but Aarons defended it well, stood his ground, and as he pirouetted, he won the ball back. Was clattered as he released the ball, and that's why the referee has brought play back for a free kick. It's currently Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of TalkSport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Bournemouth to win from this position at 13-8, Burnley 11-2. The draw is priced at 17-20. That's all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Hull 1, Preston 0 in the Championship. Jayden Philogene 2-2 for the former Villa youngster as Hull lead at the MKM. Here at the Vitality, free kick to Bournemouth, been taken from the wrong place. Cambridge 1, Carlisle 0. No winning 10 for Cambridge, but George Thomas has given them the lead at the Abbey. They suffered the enemy being the first team to be beaten by Cheltenham this season, but they're in front. Alvin Martin, what are your thoughts? 17 minutes to go, still 1-1 here, still Bournemouth largely in the ascendancy, but there could easily be a slip-up at either end to hand the 3 points to somebody.
Well, that's right. You know, it's a very important stage of the game now. The concentration, the latter stage is all hard work. It could be undone by a mistake or, like you said, lapse in concentration. But look, you know, I've got to give credit to both teams. Bournemouth have taken the mantle on of attacking Burnley. They're the ones at home. They're the ones that, you know, need to take the game to the opposition. But I've got to give credit to Burnley as well. There's been cross after cross, corner after corner. There's been Burnley players sticking their heads on balls. He's certainly been a much busier goalkeeper, hasn't he, Trafford? But they've hung in there, Burnley, and you know they've showed a desire to stay in the game.
Possession apparently is 50-50.
No.
Dead split between the two.
I'll tell you what, the possession areas is where this game will count. You know, it's all been in and around Burnley's penalty area.
Sure.
Bournemouth's possession.
Mansfield 2, Walsall 1. The Stags back in front through Jordan Bowery, who has been playing at right back in recent times for the Stags. We know him as a striker when he came through it around the EFL and went to Aston Villa for a time under Paul Lambert. 2-1 to the Stags. Foul as Burnley player Charlie Taylor gets taken down. Doncaster 1, Grimsby 0. Down in League 2, a Joe Ironside penalty for Doncaster. And here Burnley coming forward. David Brooks and Luis Sinisterra are going to be coming on shortly as a double change for Bournemouth. It's 1-1 with 15 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. All given away by Vitinho. Billing spots the keeper of his line. What a goal! Billing! An absolutely magnificent effort from 5 or 10 yards inside the Burnley half. Ball given away by Burnley. Billing spotted James Trafford off his line and clips it from 50, 60 yards out. Trafford got fingertips to it, but not enough to keep it out. And Bournemouth have turned it around and could be heading out of the Premier League bottom three, courtesy of a classic goal from Philip Billing. His first of of the season in the Premier League. It's 2-1 to Bournemouth.
Brilliant billing, brilliant, absolutely fantastic. We all could see what needed to be done, but he was the one that came up with the goods. Terrific, because a swirling wind, this is even more difficult than at normal. You've got to get everything perfect. Once they give the ball away, Burnley, they're dispossessed. He's got a lot to do. Trafford is trying desperately to get back on his line, gets a good strong hand on it, but can't stop it going over the line. It really is absolutely brilliant skill by the Bournemouth player. And I've got to say, Bournemouth deserve this. They've taken the game to Burnley. They've taken risks. They've peppered Trafford with crosses, with shots. But a moment of brilliance by Billing has been the difference. And now what can they do? They've come back once. Can they come back again?
Koleosho trying to go on the outside of Kelly. Burnley trying to respond to going behind. Koleosho down the right hand side of the area, dispossessed by Tavernier, who just thumps it downfield over the head of Solanke. There was a booking for Philip Billing, incidentally, for taking his shirt off after he scored that goal. Morecambe 3, Wimbledon 1, Armani Little gets one back. And in that big game, second against third in League 2, Notts County 0, Wrexham 1. Elliot Lee with his 10th of the season. Burnley 2-1 down. Koleosho with the first time ball into the box. Volley clear attempted by Scott Rodriguez, and then Max Aaron's heads the ball back to his keeper Radu. Bit harum scarum just for a moment at the back.
Was nervous. I think everybody in the ground held their breath there, but Burnley and Bournemouth supporters. But I said he's been fairly quiet, Billing, considering that they've had a lot of their possession in and around the penalty area. Yeah, but that's what he's capable of. Yeah. That's what he's capable of. A moment of individual brilliance.
More live football for you tomorrow here on TalkSport 2. Sheffield Wednesday taking on Rotherham in a South Yorkshire derby. Our coverage starts 12:45 here on TalkSport 2. Kick-off at 1. Make sure you're with us for that. I'll be at the Coventry Building Society Arena on Monday night for Coventry against West Brom. Sky Blues against the Baggies. I'll be with David Newton. That's an 8 o'clock kick-off on TalkSport 2 Monday night. Our coverage starts at 7. So, Notts County 0, Wrexham 2 now. 2 quick goals for Wrexham at Meadow Lane. Ollie Palmer with the second of those. And Bournemouth 2-1 up here. Lloyd Kelly trying to power his way through to the edge of the area. One back by Burnley, who've now got to go for it. Koleosho wins the throw. How long have we got left? 78 gone on TalkSport 2. I'm looking down at Andoni Iraola down beneath us. I mean, the celebrations for the goal, understandably, were very exuberant from Andoni Iraola. This means a lot to him, this potential 3-point haul. He knows that his owner's here to see Bournemouth play. Bill Foley making a rare trip to Dorset to watch the team he bought. And they're in front. QPR 1, Leicester 2. Harry Winks for Leicester against 10-man QPR. It looks like it could well be 9 straight league wins for Leicester. They play Leeds on Friday night on TalkSport 2 at the King Power. Make sure you're with us for that. That'll be a brilliant game of football, because Leeds in scintillating form themselves, winning 4-1 this afternoon live on TalkSport 2 against Huddersfield Town in the West Yorkshire derby. Here on the Dorset coast, the dark clouds are still very much in evidence, but not for Andoni Iraola just now. Vincent Kompany's the manager under pressure, but here come his Burnley side down the left hand side with Johan Berg Gudmundsson. Sander Berger turns away from Ryan Christie. 10 minutes to go. 2-1 to Bournemouth on TalkSport 2. Hugging the left hand touchline, Berger swings it in field, cutting out Solanke and finding Dara O'Shea. Now Koleosho, chance for him to run at Lloyd Kelly maybe. No, he clips it inside. The rain starts to fall down heavily once again as Kelly just puts his foot through it and gets it out of play. There was a double change planned to attacking changes by Andoni Iraola, but now the changes are entirely different. David Brooks has been told to sit down, so too is Luis Sinisterra, and instead they're making 2 changes there. Tressor is coming on for Burnley meantime for Koleosho, and Nathan Redmond is coming on for Johan Berg Gudmundsson. So Tressor and Redmond on as Burnley substitutes, and it's Kerkez and Rothwell that are coming on for Bournemouth, whereas it was Sinisterra and Brooks who were ready to come on 10 minutes ago, Alvin.
Yeah, you can understand why. Bournemouth are looking to consolidate and coming to the last 10 minutes, 2-1 up. Look, they went a goal down, Bournemouth. They came up with an answer, came back and got back into the game very, really quickly. That's exactly what Burnley have got to do now. Got to show that resilience and that character.
So Milos Kerkez comes on for Marcus Tavernier, another Bournemouth player who's put in one heck of a shift. And Philip Billing, the goal scorer, who was booked, remember, he's the other player being taken off. Doesn't look too happy at being withdrawn, but it could be his goal that climbs Bournemouth out of the bottom three. Joe Rothwell on to replace him for these last 8 minutes or so. You're listening to Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1 on TalkSport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action, like Wolves versus Newcastle at tea time, live today for £11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports. Max Aarons is just being helped to his feet. You've missed none of the action here whilst those changes were being made, because Aarons needed a bit of treatment, so he's got to come off and wait that now regulation 30 seconds before he can come back out onto the pitch. So 2-1 to Bournemouth. Sunderland 3, Norwich 1. Jack Clark now back out in front as the Championship's top scorer with 9. He scores a penalty at the Stadium of Light with 10 to go. Adam Armstrong had joined him on 8 goals for the season with the goal he got late on against Birmingham for Southampton today. Sunderland 3, Norwich 1. And that's after 3 straight defeats for Sunderland, but I saw them against Leicester on Tuesday and they got beat 1-0, but I thought they played well, Alvin. Tony Mowbray, Sunderland. And they have the 3 points, it seems, today against, now under pressure, David Bagner at Norwich City, because that will be no winning 5 for the Canaries. Throw in for Bournemouth. Oxford 1, Wickham 2. The side starting the day second in League One have been pegged back and are now being beaten by Luke Lee. He's got his second of the afternoon for Wickham. And Exeter equalised against Lincoln. That's 1-1 at St James Park. I'll be down there on Tuesday for them to play Middlesbrough in the EFL Cup. Reports on TalkSport on Tuesday night. 6 straight defeats for Exeter, but they could be getting a share of the spoils against Lincoln today. Of course, thumping down with rain again here. And that could spark a mistake. These slippery pitches can cause problems for defenders if concentration slips late on in games. Nathan Redmond tries to look for Tressor over the halfway line, but Aarons, who's back out there, gets there first. Ouattara can't keep the ball in play on the far side. Stevenage 3, Derby 1 now at the Lamex. And Kane Hemmings gets the third for Borough. Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1 here on TalkSport 2 in our exclusive national commentary. Earlier today, Brentford won by 2-0 at Chelsea in the West London derby. Ball's back with James Trafford, beaten by that extraordinary effort from way downtown by Philip Billing to put Bournemouth in front. And that Bournemouth want to make another change. Antona Iraola wants Adam Smith out there, and Max Aarons is clearly hampered by that injury that he suffered a few moments ago, so it's going to be a straight swap at right back. Adam Smith on for Max Aarons. Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 1. Guess who scored for Real Madrid? Jude Bellingham. Again. I mean, the guy's a freak of nature. Unbelievable. 1-1 in El Clasico. Don't forget, as I mentioned, Trans Europe Express tomorrow night at 9 on TalkSport with Danny Kelly and the team. Proper recap of everything that happens around Europe this weekend. Still plenty to come here at the Vitality. We've still got 5 minutes of normal time to go. Bournemouth 2-1 up. Burnley having to defend their own box. Dara O'Shea lumps it downfield to the halfway line. Mepham returns it with a header into the Burnley half. Jay Rodriguez tries to bring it down, but he's shown too much of that to Ryan Christie. Christie spots a bit of space for Kerkez down this near side. The Bournemouth substitute steps inside. Vitinho gives it back to Joe Rothwell, another of the substitutes out there for the Cherries. Now Zabani and Mepham on halfway. Two centre-halves exchanging passes. Lloyd Kelly plays the ball down the left-hand side, asking Christie to give chase. But O'Shea, well, he got a touch on that, but he was nudged in the back. Bournemouth fans wanted a corner, but he clearly got pushed in the back. So free kick to Burnley, but time's running out, Alvin, for Vincent Kompany and Burnley, 2 on the score.
Well, they're working really hard as well, Bournemouth. Credit to them, when they haven't got the ball, they're making it tremendously difficult for Burnley to build up any sort of momentum, and that's intelligent from their point of view. But I'm sure the conditions have got worse in the last 5 minutes. The wind's swirling even more.
Ball up at the edge of the area, won't drop for Solanke, comes out to Kirkes, tries to drive, blocked by O'Shea, but out comes Trafford to claim as the ball bounced around the penalty area. 2-1 to Bournemouth, 86.5 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. The phone in with Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Agbonahor at 5:30 over on TalkSport, and then Mark Goldbridge at 7:30, Fight Night at 9, concentrating on matters in Saudi Arabia, where Tyson Fury takes on Francis Ngannou, the MMA champion. Here is Josh Brownhill for Burnley as the Clarets bring the ball forward. Brun Larsen down this near side of the right, gives it back to Brownhill. Brilliant challenge from Kirkes. Cross back though for Brownhill. Looks for Jakob Brun Larsen in the area, right hand side. Brownhill again, plays it to the far post looking for Rodriguez. Headed out by Mepham. Berger and Brownhill try and loft it back to the edge of the area. Half cleared. Ouattara tried to nod it downfield, but it was blocked by Charlie Taylor. But Ouattara can let it go out of play for a throw into Bournemouth. Burnley trying to work the oracle, but it's a Bournemouth throw. 2-1 to the Cherries. Watford 1, Millwall 2 in the Championship. No winning 3 for managerless Millwall, but Wes Harding scored 2 in 2 to maybe give them all 3 points at Vicarage Road. Livingston 0, Dundee 2 in the Scottish Premiership. Back with James Trafford, the Burnley goalkeeper. Burnley want it down the other end. 2 minutes of normal time to go. Bournemouth 2-1 up and coming out of the bottom 3 as things stand here on TalkSport 2. Arsenal 4-0 up on Sheffield United, a penalty from Fabio Vieira, and 3-1 MK Dons against Swindon George McEachran. Here comes Nathan Redmond for Burnley, looking for Rodriguez inside the area. Rodriguez 2-2, but then the flag goes up to deny Jay Rodriguez. VAR will take a look. Brilliant ball through from Nathan Redmond, splitting the defence. Rodriguez with a great finish, but the flag went up as the ball nestled in the bottom corner, and now everyone around the Vitality holds their breath for what happens at Stockley Park. Is that or is that not offside against Jay Rodriguez? What do you reckon, Alvin? We just saw
tight. It's tight, Dan. It's tight. But one thing I did say is if he gets a chance, he'll stick it away, and that's a chance. He has stuck it away. Will it stand?
We're waiting for VAR to check.
Oh, he looks off from the screen here.
David Coote is the VAR official today, assisted by Mark Perry at Stockley Park. We're seeing a still picture of the ball being played by Redmond, and looking at the chest of Jay Rodriguez, looks like he's just ahead of Lloyd Kelly. They're clearly drawing the lines right now back at Stockley Park to make sure they make the correct decision.
What a massive moment. A massive moment.
Everyone pacing around, Vincent Kompany prowling around.
It must be tight. The amount of time that they're taking down, so you know it's tight.
They are taking their time. Well, you can hear from how long it's taking after I called the goal going in that they're being very precise with this to make sure they get it right. They're still honing in with their crosshairs. We can see pictures. This is what the fans can't see. We can see. We're lucky enough in this press area to see on our monitors.
We can't see the lines. We can't see the lines. That's why we can't make a decision on this. You know, you need to see them lines.
They're zooming in on the area, but still we wait for a decision to be made. We're moving into 7 minutes of minimum added time. There's going to be at least 7, because we've got to wait for this decision to be taken first by David Coote at Stockley Park, and still the decision isn't being made. They're still zooming in and out
the managers
on
here,
the still picture.
The managers, both managers, for different reasons. Kompany, you know, like, it could be back in the game.
Well, this is what my problem is. This shouldn't take this long to decide, and the Premier League decided not to go with semi-automated offsides as they do in the Champions League, which are much quicker at discerning whether a player is or isn't offside. The most cash-rich league in the world, other than the Saudi Pro League, couldn't stump up the cash for semi-automated offsides. This is the problem. We don't know, but still we wait.
This is incredible.
Ipswich 3, Plymouth 1 meantime. Marcus Harness with the third goal for Ipswich. And still we wait for the decision to be made. And there's a green line going across the screen that's being drawn. Does that mean that the knee of Lloyd Kelly is playing Jay Rodriguez onside? Still we wait, still VAR's making their decision. They're still deciding what to do here. They're still drawing. They're still drawing hashed lines and shaded lines to make their minds up. This is a ridiculously long wait. But what decision are they going to come to? Players going to the referee saying what's going on, and Sam Barrett can only shake his head and say, I don't know, I've got no control over this. This is down to events at Stockley Park, who are taking an eternity to make up their minds as to what to do here. 2-1 the score to Bournemouth. This is a crucial moment in the game, and they can't make their minds up. They're drawing the lines again, it seems, Alvin Martin. What is going on? Pathetic.
No idea. I've got no idea.
Pathetic.
I'd like really to know what the problem is, because this is just pure dimension, isn't it? A line, and yes or no. I don't understand. There isn't anything else apart from that line drawn across two players.
What were we told? Minimum interference for maximum benefit. And here we are, 3 minutes after the ball hit the back of the net, and still we don't know whether it's a goal. That is outrageous. Howard Webb, sort it out. This isn't good enough. The beautiful game deserves more than this rubbish. 2-1 to Bournemouth, and still we wait for the decision to be made. Cardiff go 2-0 up on Bristol City in the Championship. Ruben Colwill, Barnsley equalise against Fleetwood for 2-2 in added time. And still we wait here at the Vitality Stadium.
I don't know of any other occurrence in the game, in the history of the game, that has damaged the game more than VAR. By miles. It's out on its own for having an adverse, negative effect on a wonderful game.
And still, hands on hips, referee, players, supporters, all in the dark as to what's going on. And you can hear the boos around us here, because all we want is some clarity. And still we don't know what the final decision is from David Coote and Mark Perry.
There we go.
Have they gone out for a fag? Have they gone out for a cigarette and a cup of tea? Finally there's a word in his ear.
There he goes.
And it's been given finally as offside. How long did that take to get to that decision? When the flag went up, when the ball was played in, that must have taken 5 minutes to decide that the original decision from the assistant on this near side was correct. That's not good enough for football. That is nowhere near good enough. But it does mean Bournemouth are still 2-1 up, and we're now 4 minutes into the initial 7 that were added on, so we're going to be playing past 100 minutes here at the Vitality. 2-1 Bournemouth.
I said, in the first half, I thought the referee, Sam Barrett, is as good as I've seen in terms of a refereeing performance today. I just wish he could have gone on with it without VAR. Because he's been absolutely...
He's not used to VAR. This is only his third or fourth Premier League game.
He's been immaculate. He's been immaculate as a referee. Absolutely fantastic.
Technology should not take that length of time. If that's what it's been brought in to do, if that's what we've got to live with, it shouldn't take that long. It's not beyond the wit of man. I'm sorry. Here's Jakob Brund-Larsen for Burnley. They're still trying to find themselves an equaliser. Vitinho, infield to Sander Berge, up to the edge of the area. Bournemouth clear their lines. There's still a football match to be won here. Bournemouth hoof the ball downfield, but James Trafford has it. 95 minutes gone. Watford 2, Millwall 2. Watford equalised deep into added time through Mijeta Rajovic at Vicarage Road. Blackpool 2, Peterborough 4. Peterborough make the point save through Ephraim Mason-Clark. And Ipswich 3, Plymouth 2. Joe Edwards for Plymouth, but that may be too late at Portman Road. Here on halfway is Dara O'Shea, giving it back to Amin Al-Dakil. Burnley still desperate for an equaliser. They thought they had one, but Jay Rodriguez eventually had his effort ruled out for offside. It was ruled out on field for offside. And then VAR took over, or at least was supposed to. 7 minutes of added time were originally shown. 96 minutes have gone, but there's going to be more to add on. Probably 100 minutes, I would say. As here come Burnley with Vitinho down the right-hand side. Brun Larsen looking to take on Kelly to get to the byline. It's it against Kelly. Corner kick to Burnley at the 10 at Dougal end. They're not done yet, the Clarets, as they seek at least a point from this game. 2-1.
Again, you can't question the character of either side. Dance, they've been through a traumatic start to the season, both of them, but both of them have come out and given everything this afternoon.
So a corner kick to be taken by Tresor, right-footed out swinger. A few players massed around the penalty spot, and referee Barrett has spotted a bit of pushing and shoving. I think the two number 8s he's looking at, Brownhill and Rothwell, are just being watched as they are stood next to Radu, the Bournemouth goalkeeper. Redmond's there for a short corner routine should Tresor want to use him. And he plays it short, but to the corner of the area. Charlie Taylor lobs it to the far post, gets out and pokes over the crossbar. What a chance for Burnley. Sander Berger at the far post got a header in. It was blocked on the line by Radu, came out to Sander Berger, tight to that far post, and as Radu went to ground, Berger lifted it over the bar. Goal kick to Bournemouth, and they hang on to their 2-1 lead.
Incredible. It looked like it was in. I thought Taylor was he started the game off with a fabulous goal, didn't he, Taylor? I thought he was going to supply a cross that was going to end up and getting a draw out of this game, but it wasn't to be for him.
Arsenal 5, Sheffield United 0. Takahiro Tomiyasu getting on the act now. Another chastening afternoon for Paul Heckingbottom, the Sheffield United manager. What does that result mean for him, based on the reports that we were hearing through the week on TalkSport? 98 minutes gone, still time to play at the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1. Here come Burnley looking down the right hand side for Brun Larsen. It's headed out of play by Zabarnyi, but it will be a throw to the Clarets. Bournemouth are just seconds away from their first Premier League win of the season. Can they hang on? Ball sent forward from Taylor, looking for Brun Larsen down the right for Burnley. Lloyd Kelly tidies up. Alex Scott out there too, on his own dead ball line. Just takes the ball away from Brownhill and then pulls him over. Free kick.
I mean, Scott's he's been probably Bournemouth's best player this afternoon. He's been everywhere, and that was really intelligent what he did there. And he took the responsibility on a really dangerous area of the field where he could have got dispossessed. He was able to have the courage to do that, and that's an important moment for Bournemouth. He's been brilliant.
Yeah, he's taken to the Premier League like the proverbial duck to water, hasn't he? And it is nice weather for ducks here this afternoon. Thumping it down, 2-1 to Bournemouth. We played 99 minutes. Oxford 2, Wickham 2. Cameron Brannigan with a late penalty looks to have earned a point for second placed Oxford. Ball's out of play for a Burnley goal kick. So we are in the hands of Sam Barrett, the referee. We've long since played the minimum 7 minutes that were added on, but I don't reckon we kicked off again after all that VAR controversy until 4 minutes after the 90. So it could be 101 minutes. 2-1 to Bournemouth, hanging on here for 3 points, something they've not done so far this season. But here are Burnley just over halfway. Bournemouth are back in a deep defensive position. Solanke looking to keep Dara O'Shea company, rolls it to his right for Brownhill. Brownhill spots Brun Larsen, trying to go on the outside of Lloyd Kelly. Brun Larsen driving for the dead ball line. Great defending Lloyd Kelly for Bournemouth, and then whacked clear by Kirkes. Trafford will control it still. We play on, and Donny Areola looks at the assistant, who seems to suggest there's 1 more minute to play. Here come Burnley, one last chance for the Clarets. Down the right-hand side of the box, Brownhill gets there, ahead of Alex Scott. Brun Larsen level with the edge of the area, right-hand side, rolls it back into the centre of the half. Dara O'Shea coming forward, gives it back to Larsen on the right wing, into the edge of the area. Sander Berger looking to jink away from a couple of challenges. Plenty waiting for a cross. Can he get the cross in? Sander Berger into the area, goes for goal, deflected, saved. And Radu plunges on top of the ball and will hold on to it. And that may be that for Bournemouth to hold on for 3 points.
I was going to squeeze in a near post there, but the sting had been taken off the shot. Radu was able to drop on it. But they're dropping deeper and deeper now, Bournemouth. You can understand why.
So Radu holding on to the ball for as long as he possibly can. 101 minutes have been played out. The referee blows the full-time whistle. Listen to that sound. That's the sound of Bournemouth getting their first win of this season. And Bournemouth players sink to their knees and fall flat on their back. They've given everything this afternoon. They are out of the bottom three and they're out on their feet. But they leapfrog Luton into 17th place. They came from behind to win the game, and what a goal to win it. Charlie Taylor had put Burnley ahead in the 11th minute with a thumping volley from the edge of the area. Antoine Semenyo then robbed Taylor midway through the first half and put the ball in with a low strike for 1-1. That was the score at half-time, and then Burnley gave the ball away midway through the second half. And with James Trafford, the goalkeeper, out of his penalty area, Philip Billing chanced his arm and a left-footed effort from way downtown sailed over Trafford's outstretched arm. He couldn't get enough on it, nestled in the back of the net, and Bournemouth had their first win. And what does that mean for Andoni Iraola? With his chairman here to watch him, his owner here to watch him, he's got his first win of the season at just the right time. Burnley fall to defeat. Vincent Kompany's players go across to their fans to appreciate the effort. They thought they'd equalised when Jay Rodriguez netted late on. It was ruled out for offside by the assistant, and then it took VAR an eternity to agree with the on-field decision. On-field decision was correct, as it turned out. But did we need 5 minutes of lines being drawn on the screen? In the end, it's all about the full-time result, and it's gone Bournemouth's way. Bournemouth out of the bottom three. Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1.